Committee will come to order. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Washington for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Secretary Noem, do you know what the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution says?
Search and seizure processes.
Yep. What about it?
Huh?
What about it? What about search and
It
seizure?
guarantees the right to a lawful search and seizure.
It protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. And I ask you that because I've sent you 3 different letters going back to February of 2025 raising concerns that you are unlawfully detaining U.S. citizens in violation of the Fourth Amendment. It was not until yesterday afternoon, more than a year after I sent you my first letter, that I finally received a response from you stating that ICE has detained 18 U.S. citizens. I want to introduce you to just 4 of the U.S. citizens unlawfully detained by ICE who are not even included in the 18 individuals that you cite in your response to me. They're in this room with us, and I invite each of you to stand as I read your story. Patricia O'Keefe was monitoring ICE agents when they deployed pepper spray into her car vent without provocation. They smashed her car windows, pulled her and her friend out, arrested them for, quote, obstruction, and detained them. Patricia saw an entire area dedicated to detaining U.S. citizens. An ICE agent also said, quote, "You guys have to stop obstructing us. That's why that lesbian bitch is dead," end quote. Referring to Renee Good, ICE detained Patricia for over 8 hours. Ryan Eklund was monitoring ICE activity in his car when ICE agents blocked him and took his photo, then appeared to use that photo to go to his neighborhood and try to intimidate him. He was still in the car when they approached him, pulled him from his car, and put him in leg irons. Ryan was detained for 6 hours. ICE agents shot Wesley Powers with a pepper ball while he was peacefully protesting ICE activity. ICE detained him for 8 hours, gave him no medical assistance, leaving him in clothes that still had dangerous chemical residue. When doctors examined Wesley after his release, the medical professional opinion was that what ICE agents did to him constituted assault. Edmund Higgins is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. While legally observing ICE, he honked his horn a couple of times, and when he saw agents driving down a narrow road, he actually drove away. But agents chased him until he sought refuge at a local police station. When agents drew their firearms and pointed them at Edmund, well-trained local police officers diffused the situation, but your agents still insisted on detaining Edmund for 6 hours. Secretary Noem, yesterday in the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, you stated that ICE agents may arrest U.S. citizens in the situation where they were obstructing law enforcement or in situations where you have reasons to doubt that they're U.S. citizens. Is that still your position?
I said, or probable cause.
So let me ask each of the U.S. citizens in the audience who were detained. Raise your hand if you were not charged with any crime following your detention. Not a single one of you were charged with a crime. Now raise your hand if any of you were not even asked to prove that you were U.S. citizens during your detention. Not a single one of you were even asked about your citizenship status, making it clear that DHS agents simply don't care that they're arresting U.S. citizens. Now please raise your hand if you were detained by ICE simply for legally protesting or monitoring ICE activity under your First Amendment rights. All 4 U.S. citizens have raised their hands that they were detained simply for legally protesting or monitoring ICE activity. Secretary, these are not 4 isolated incidents. ProPublica's reporting puts the number at over 170 U.S. citizens detained in just the first 8 months of the administration, which doesn't even include Operation Metro Surge in Minnesota. None of these 4 U.S. citizens were charged with a crime. None had their citizenship questioned, and all were lawfully exercising their First Amendment rights. Do you have anything you want to say to them or the millions of American citizens across the country that are watching this and horrified at what your department is doing?
Well, context is critical in each of these situations to know the full range of what happened in each of these situations before and after the incident and their arrest.
Secretary, not a single one was charged with a crime. Not a single one, and they were detained. And let me just reclaim my time for my final seconds. DHS is supposed to be protecting our residents and upholding constitutional protections, but you've turned that on the head. You have actually turned the United States government against its own residents, and you've had multiple chances to take accountability, to apologize to these folks and others across across the country, but you have failed to do it. Yours is a case of failed leadership, Secretary. You need to resign, be fired, or be impeached.
Yeah, the time of the
because
gentlelady-
you don't have the right to lead this
The time of the
agency.
gentlelady has
I yield back.
expired, and she yields back. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
What you just witnessed was more than a tense exchange in a congressional hearing. It was a confrontation that touched on some of the most fundamental constitutional protections in the United States, and it revealed a deeper debate about the balance between immigration enforcement, civil liberties, and government accountability. During the hearing, Washington Representative Pramila Jayapal launched a sharp line of questioning toward Kristi Noem, who was testifying as Secretary of the Homeland Security.